See, Taoiseach, I can remember a long list of ministers splashing around floods in their top boots for photographs. I can even remember Minister Joan Burton falling out of a canoe in terms of a flood system. None of this gives any confidence at all to people who are actually being inundated at the moment. And you talk about the critical infrastructure. My problem with you, Taoiseach, is you're here 15 years, yet if you remove the future tense, you are silent in terms of delivery. That's an incredible situation in relation to this. Clontarf, flood defences will be 30 years from concept to completion. Sandymount, promised 20 years ago, not until 2032 for delivery. Galway, promised in 2019, not until 2035 before delivery. And these are all with the caveats, if everything goes well. Now, you must be embarrassed by the length of time it's taking for the delivery of infrastructure in your area. And in terms of the clean-up, I know of homes that are not getting sandbags from their communities. Business people that I'm talking to are still not clear in terms of what exactly is covered in relation to these. Will their earnings be covered? Will it be means test? People who've lost their cars, we've seen cars submerged. They won't be paid for the cars. People don't feel that it's fair that people from the Ukraine had their cars fixed by the government a year ago, and yet these cars won't be fixed in this particular situation. Everybody should be treated equally in this country in relation to the fixing of cars. When will you fix these issues?
I'm not sure how you segued Ukraine in there, but so you did. Well, I agree with that, but I mean, I'm not sure how helping people from Ukraine links to a flood situation. I do think we should. That's the point you made.
That's just to respond.
And I think our response to Ukraine is another point, and the conflation of the two, I'm not sure is particularly helpful on this occasion. Look, can I? No, I'm going to answer Deputy Tubin's question, Deputy Hearn. I'm very proud of the record that we have in delivering many flood relief schemes across the country. I can think of Clonmel, I can think of West Cork, I can think of Mayo, I can think of many. But I'm equally frustrated, as you are, but nowhere near as frustrated as the people of the communities affected are, that it's taking far too long to deliver far too many. And that's why we, in our general election campaign, talked about a new approach to infrastructure. It's why when this government came together, we agreed to accelerate the delivery of infrastructure. It's why we're identifying specific areas of need as critical infrastructure, and it's why we intend to legislate for that this year. And with the cooperation of the opposition, instead of all just coming in here slinging insults at each other, let's actually pass a piece of legislation that might make a blind bit of difference to people. That's our job. And we will bring forward critical infrastructure legislation. On the flood forecasting, can I say this? Met Éireann do a very good job. I thank Met Éireann for the job that they do. We do need to have a conversation, though, about what information we can usefully make to help. Because I think when people hear a yellow rain warning, that has a very different context depending on the river levels and depending on the level of saturation. And I think after every storm, it's important to reflect on that.